My name is Pat Winders. I participated with Adams Camp as a physical therapist last summer, and it was just a wonderful experience.
I'm Lisa Townsend, and I'm a music therapist, and then recently took the job of therapy program manager. The Adams Camp model is 5 kids, 5 therapists over 5 days, and that includes art, speech, music, occupational, physical therapy, working together with 2 volunteers and the family members to create this multidisciplinary approach to therapy. So before camp starts, each therapist is assigned a family on their team to call and touch base with. Therapists are able to take a look at the background information on each child and do some research and then talk more with the family about any concerns or things that we should know before camp starts.
And each therapist who called a family then discusses and really represents that child and that family to the rest of the team. The day before therapy starts, the staff get there in the morning, and then the parents get there in the afternoon. And basically what we do that day is we have a general orientation time where we just know what the location is like, know where we're going to be. It's also a time where the teams get together so that they start to get to know each other. And then later on in the day, what we do is we even plan our therapy spaces. We go to the area, we set up the equipment that we want, and then after that, we actually network together about the kids and have a team meeting about the kids and their families. And then that evening, we actually have an opportunity for the team to meet with the families and the children and also their siblings. And then we get to see family dynamics. We get to match what we thought the child would be able to do with what the child is able to do. And you just get a clearer understanding of where you're going to start the next day, because you've kind of broken the ice. You've met the child, they're comfortable with you, you have some playtime with them, and the same thing with the family, so that everybody, starts with that beginning level of trust. And then the team also has an opportunity after that to meet, because if there's anything that we want to do to refine what we said before, that's a great opportunity to do it. And then, Tuesday morning, really start right up with an effective program, at least for your first day.
The parents drop children off each morning, and it's a brief time for us to touch base and say, how did they sleep? Is there anything we need to know? Okay, have a great day.
And you basically go from 8:30 to 2:30, and then what the children do is they basically just rotate, from one person to the next on the team. And just, within our time every day, we can be individually with the child, we can work as a group with the child, and we also go through everything that a child would do in their day, from eating to toileting, as well as the individual therapies.
Snack breaks and lunch breaks are as therapeutic as the one-on-one time in music and the one-on-one time in physical therapy. We're working on communication goals and socialization and just working with those kids in those group times on some of their individual goals. Most of the therapy does take place in the therapy space that's set up, but we also have the opportunity to take the kids out to an activity each day as a group. We've done things like swimming and therapeutic horseback riding, canoeing, wall climb, with the support and facilitation of the therapists that they need to have, not only a typical camp experience, but also be working on some of those goals in a more naturalistic setting.
So the days are similar in structure, just in terms of the schedule. There's certain, there's a time allocation to each of the activities. But we're very flexible. We're very flexible because the kids are different at different hours of the day, from one day to the next. And also, something might have happened where we've learned something new, so we just become flexible to make the shift because that'll be what's best for the child. And you just basically rotate from one activity, one child to the next, and then at 2:30, you know, the kids are picked up, and then after that we meet again.
And you know, the therapy day doesn't stop at 2:30 for the therapists. That's when the kids go home. You know, we might take a break afterwards just to regroup and get back to our spaces. And then we come together and make some notes on the things that happened that day, specific to the goals, as well as just some overview. We take a look at trying to refine the goals and see, you know, discuss how the day went, what the successes were, what our challenges might be for the following day. This is something we do every day. And we might take our dinner break, and then we're right back at it again, talking about all of the techniques and things that we can do as a team for each child to make the next day successful.
It was really wonderful to work with the team, to just learn what each person could contribute to really the whole experience and the whole success of the child.
So we all do it in our own way, the speech therapist as well. How do you work on toileting? Well, let's talk about as a team how we're going to do this, and use our own strengths to achieve those goals. So I think it's important to note that you might look at goals and say, I've never had this type of goal to work with. And the beauty of it is that you're learning as much as the kids in that time. We see that every time that we're with a child, there's an opportunity for a therapeutic breakthrough. You know, we're saying we've got to, you know, use all of the goals and all of the resources that we have available, and try to set the stage for some kind of a breakthrough. As part of the model, the third day of therapy begins with drop-off, and the families each meet with one therapist one-on-one to talk about the goals that have been established with their input and their feedback, based on 2 days of working with those goals and tweaking them to say, you know, are these still in line with what you hope to achieve this week? And that objective is that there's this communication between the families and the therapists to make sure that everyone is hoping for the same success for that week. So the evening of day 4 is quite different in that we're working on these scrapbooks. All of the pictures that have been taken, the goals that have been written, the strengths and learning styles of the children are put onto a hard copy, and we grab stickers and all sorts of markers and things and create these scrapbooks that are not only memories but also clinical tools for families to take back to their pediatricians, to their therapists, or to their family to show what happened during that week of Adams Camp. And they give a really good picture of what goals were worked on, the fun that was had in the process, and the people that were all involved in that. Day 5 ends a bit differently. Therapy ends a bit earlier, and there's a ceremony where the families come and join the kids, and we put together a little something to highlight each child and the success that we can share with the whole group.
Then the whole team sits with the family, and we just have an hour-long conference on what's happened over the week. We go over the scrapbook. You know, kind of the scrapbook is really the tool for us to share everything about the child, you know, the strengths, the learning style, the goals, the results that were achieved. Everybody on the team summarizes what happened with that child.
And each family gets their own, which is nice. I think they just really benefit from having that one-on-one time with their therapists who know their kids better than, in some ways, some of the therapists that have been working with them in home or school situations. Adams Camp isn't for everyone. I think that to be a part of this experience, there are certain qualities that you need and characteristics that you need to be comfortable with, and I would say flexibility, which does not come easily, kind of leaving your way at home and being ready to come and accept everyone's way, because it's such a team approach that you can't come in saying my way's the only way. Let's do it this way. So I think that that's a big piece of it. I mean, most people will have a great time in this environment, but that's not to say it's not challenging, grueling some days. It can be physically exhausting. It's an intensive week not only for the kids but also for the therapists. You're living with each other, having all of your meals together, discussing the children, and it goes, it spans your day.
I think the other thing that's really nice too is just as a team, we're very respectful of each other. It's almost like everybody leaves their egos out at the, before they walk in the main door. And the other thing is you just need to know that this week, your personal life is not going to get any attention. Your family at home, tell them you're sorry, you won't be calling them much. Just because it is a marathon. It's a marathon from the time you get there till your last parent conference. And it's just, so you just need to know that that's the kind of commitment you're going to be giving. It's not a typical job, it's like that's the joy of it, and that's also the challenge of it. So just if you have a lot of things going on at home that you need to be a part of, then it would be, you just need to look and see if you really can set aside that week and know that your focus that week is going to be whatever Adams Camp needs, because that is where you're going to need to be to serve the team, to serve the families, and to serve the children.
Expect to give all of yourself in ways that you have not before, and in return get more than you've ever expected to.